Hey everyone, Oric here again from PartsPro.ph. So, kung nagustuhan nyo yung video natin tungkol sa GR Yaris, well, we're going back underneath another car today. So if you've seen our previous video where we talked about the exterior, interior, and the usual features you'd talk about with a van, this one naman, titingin tayo sa ilalim ng Volkswagen T6 Multivan. So, let's start. Up here, makikita nyo yung front suspension natin and yung, basically yung drivetrain niya as it is, no? Kasi, as you'll see later, and I'll explain why, medyo mukhang walang laman yung likod. Bear with me for a bit. So, up front, we have your typical, again, very conventional McPherson strut suspension. And from the looks of it, it's very textbook, very simple lang, no? With these things naman, you don't need any hardcore suspension parts or alignment. Pero, one thing to commend, no, since itong mga kotseng ganito, medyo mabibigat, di ba? You have really thick German steel here. So, yung lower arms mo are actually made with very thick material, which is, you know, a sign na talagang they went to make sure that it's durable and can handle all the weight that you could throw at it, no? And of course, above that, nandun yung axles and yung CV joints mo, which is coming from yung transmission, di ba, and the engine, kasi this is just a front-wheel drive version, no? So, when we move down here, mapapansin nyo na halos walang laman yung pang-ilalim niya, puro heat shield lang, no? Kasi dapat originally, I mean, these also come with four-wheel drive models overseas, no? But for our market, they just spec'd it with front-wheel drive. But normally, yung propeller shaft mo would go all the way there and have another set of, you know, differentials and axles at the back. But in our case, medyo simple lang tignan. But this gives us a better look back here, no? Where we see yung downpipe coming from the exhaust. Well, more of ang nakikita natin is just a really thick catalytic converter, which makes these things lower on emissions. Because, you know, the EPA is watching. Volkswagen, right? Anyway, apart from that, no, the exhaust system is very basic with a very thick resonator here and then a muffler back there. Sobrang simple lang tingnan and of course, di ba, hindi mo naman kailangan baguhin to. Hindi na talaga. You have to keep it as quiet as possible. So, moving here to the back, dito nyo mas makikita yung gaano kakapal talaga yung mga material ng arms and suspension links, no? The VW Multivan is actually independent rear, no? I was expecting something like a solid axle here. Kasi, syempre, kailangan niya makontrol yung timbang or whatever. I was expecting leaf springs or something. Pero, this is actually better in terms of, you know, people carrying. Kasi it would lend better to more comfort, di ba? Instead of the usual pickup truck suspension na medyo matagtag pag leaf springs, ganun. This one is actually more bearable, no? And the simplicity of it all is actually very amusing. Kasi, syempre, for anyone else, di ba? If you need it serviced outside or serviced here in the shop, madali na yung access, no? It's pretty much all conventional. Like, you can even see all the handbrake cables niya going routed all the way to the brakes, diba? And then there's a thick sway bar here, which is, I'm guessing, 20-something inches. I don't know. It's pretty thick na din. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is your fuel tank. Ang laki, no? Siyempre, with cars like these, diba? Normally in Germany, you'd find them cruising on the Autobahn, covering long distances. So easily, yung fuel tank capacity niya has to be huge. I guess by the size of this, you'll be upwards of 80 liters. Maybe we'll follow up the actual specs down here, no? Later on, because I'm personally, honestly, I'm not sure. Could be 100 liters for all we know, diba? But yeah, this thing is meant to be traveling long distances. And the fuel tank is proof of that, no?
Looking for aftermarket parts and accessories for your car? Visit Parts Pro and check out our selections. PartsPro is the Philippines' #1 e-commerce store for everything automotive. Shop now at PartsPro. Visit PartsPro.ph. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Order via Shopee. We deliver nationwide.
Okay, in the day and age na laging donut spares na lang o mga tire goop yung binibigay na wala ka ng kasamang spare tire, Volkswagen makes sure they have you covered in case you do run on a flat with an actual full-size spare. Tapos sigurado ka pang hindi basta-basta mananakaw kasi ang kakapal nung bolts dito ay nung bracket, di ba? Bago mo mababa. So, it's pretty secure, di ba? And of course, kung nakawin man to, ang hirap maghanap ng kotseng pagkakasahan nito kasi medyo iba yung PCD ng mga Volkswagen compared to your usual cars, right? So, honestly speaking, no, before we make a recommendation for this thing, in terms of modifications and styling or whatnot, we would have to drive it. We're going to have to wait a little while till VW brings in an actual demo unit. But, judging from what I've seen so far, no, there are KW suspension kits for this. Siguro, to make it a bit more plush, di ba? That's one. And of course, this being a German car, likely malamang meron naman DTE Pedalbox or power control unit for it, no? If you really do need that extra oomph. You know what? With a diesel like this, 340 Newton meters of torque, that's already a lot, to be honest, no? To be sure, eventually, we're going to have to drive it. So that was it with our quick spec check on the VW T6 Multivan. If you want more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe and follow our social media channels for more videos. If you're more the listening type, we also have podcasts on Spotify and Apple Music and other channels. So, once again, this has been Origo and this is the Spec Check by PartsPro.ph.